There you are. And now you can proceed. Nobody's in yet.
Okay, it's Monday evening and it's our last tutorial for our semester and for the evening. It's Desiree Moodley and Peter Peterson in the Salt River studio, bringing tonight's last tutorial for Life Skills Didactics. I want to welcome all those of you who will join us this evening and who will watch this video in preparation for the last part of our module outline and the semester and the last assignment for Life Skills Didactics. With that, I want to say I'm going to be leading you through a PowerPoint presentation that's going to focus on outcome 4, which is looking at the creative arts in life skills. I'm also going to share with you a couple of videos in preparation for quite an exciting part of the curriculum, a very hands-on, practical, exciting part that takes children into the heart of what school life is all about and life in general. So with that, Creative Arts, Unit 4, Life Skills Didactics, a very good evening to you. I'm going to bring up our PowerPoint now and go through what is in store for us this evening. Okay, tutorial for Monday the 13th of October. We're focusing on the creative arts, and I'm going to go through what that means for us in life skills and the teaching of life skills. So welcome to you all as you join in this last tutorial on Life Skills Didactics. In store for us tonight, I'm going to begin with a segment of a video that's going to take us right to the heart of our discussions as an introduction to looking at dance in particular and the creative arts in general from a teacher's perspective. We're looking at the creative arts study area, which is the 4th area in life skills according to the CAPS curriculum. We're going to also trace how far we've come and look at the different parts of where we're at in terms of our last 3 module outcomes and the journey we have shared together in preparing us to teach life skills in the intermediate phase. The creative arts is about the performing arts. It's about the visual arts. And to that end, we're going to look at module outcome 4, which is about the creative arts, music, dance, and drama, which forms part of the performing arts, and visual art that looks at painting, drawing, sketching, craft, and so forth, that makes up the creative arts in the life skills curriculum. To that end, we're also going to focus on the requirements for assignment 3, which is going to be around designing activities, a range of activities around a context. And then we'll look at what CAPS has to say about that and what it requires us to know in terms of teaching the relevant knowledge and the skills, the assessment, the time frames, and so forth. So we will look at what CAPS has to say about the creative arts. And in preparation for the assignment and for this module, a couple of activities that's going to take us a little bit deeper into how we can plan and prepare for learners in the intermediate phase around the creative arts. I will share with you some ideas which you can watch at your leisure at various points in preparing for this assignment. And then to conclude, questions, any discussions that might be raised, and a conclusion. So with that, we begin tonight's last tutorial that's going to focus on the creative arts. To get us started, I'd like to share with you a segment of a YouTube video, and with that I'd like you to watch the whole video. It's about 13 minutes or so long. I'm just going to share the first 5 minutes or so just to get us thinking around how prepared are we to teach creative arts, to teach the performing arts and the visual arts, and what kind of preparation would we need if we are not experts and specialists in dance or drama, music and the visual arts. If you had to rate yourself between 1 and 7, 7 being excellent, how would you rate yourself as a teacher of the performing arts? So once watching this video, the whole idea is to share that we all are in the same boat. None of us are experts in all 4 of the disciplines. And with that, I would like you to rate yourself, and in so doing, prepare yourself. And then, as a secondary point of reflection, what do you think about the use of dance across the curriculum? How would you do that? And what ideas can you get from the video? So with that, I will come back to this slide and reiterate these 2 questions. Let's watch the first 5 minutes of our introductory video.
Okay.
Sure. Just give me a moment to bring up our video.
How to teach art to children. It's always fun to do stuff with kids because they're uninhibited, experimental, curious, and boundlessly energetic. They're not blocked by what other people think. Their minds have not seen enough art to believe that it's only done by the truly artistic. Therefore, it's best to introduce them to art early. This way, they don't get set on prejudices early and will find enjoyment in it. These instructions.
Okay, we're going to do this again. I'm going to bring it up again for you. Just give me a moment. That's the one we want.
Is that the same?
Mm-hmm.
Leave it.
Okay.
Good pick.
Apologies for the delay. We're just trying to bring up our PowerPoint again.
Good. Yeah. Start. See.
Okay.
Shape.
Teaching dance in primary schools can be a challenge for even the most flexible of teachers. Featuring an expert dance specialist and a teacher keen to improve her skills, this program offers you some sound advice on the basics of dance at Key Stage 2. Amanda Darby from Great Wishford Primary near Salisbury teaches Year 3 and 4 and is the school's PE coordinator. She's more than comfortable with gym and games, but dance is a different story.
During teacher training at Teacher Training College, I literally had an hour and a half practical experience learning how to dance and how to teach dance. That was it. It's an hour and a half. It's nearly nothing, really.
Lynn Payne is a specialist dance instructor. Her courses aim to help teachers develop their own potential, gain confidence, and create a structure for lessons, which cover the objectives laid down in the QCA guidelines.
1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4.
I think the problem with dance is there aren't any rules laid down. There are no book of rules that there might be for some sports and some games. And so it's actually an art form, and it's about responding creatively. And not everybody responds in the same way. And I think maybe teachers are sometimes a little bit worried that the way the children respond isn't the right way, but there actually isn't a right way.
The two meet up when Lynn comes to assess one of Amanda's dance classes. Its theme is directly connected to another aspect of the curriculum.
Dance is definitely one area of the curriculum that you can link with lots of others. We're linking at the moment with geography and history, our local history and St Vincent as our geography. We're linking it with literacy as well, because we're learning songs and words, and we'll make rhymes and poems that we can make to certain rhythms, etc. So we can link it with literacy.
Amanda is devising a lively carnival-themed dance. She wants to use ideas and music taken from Caribbean culture and produce a colourful dance routine.
Got all this lovely space. Try not to go round and round in a circle. Okay? Finding those pathways in and out. Remember, moving, raising your pulse, really stretch out. High, low, big, small, all those shapes. Okay? Let's go for it then.
As part of the mentoring session, Lynn's brought along a video camera, a laptop, and an assistant to film the lesson so they can analyse it afterwards. But first, let Lynn remind us of the basic essentials of any dance lesson.
Each lesson should begin with a short, intensive warm-up, something a minimum of 3 minutes to engage the children, get them physically ready and mentally ready for their dance.
High, low, big, small, all those shapes.
And then an introductory session where they're perhaps exploring the material, you set the idea, perhaps do a bit of brainstorm.
Okay, that's just an excerpt to get us thinking about the curriculum and how the creative arts can slot into it. I urge you to watch the rest of that and answer the following 2 questions. As we've seen, this teacher in this context also feels ill-prepared, not familiar and needing to be trained in this area. And she has resorted to gathering some information and learning from an expert. If you had to rate yourself between 1 and 7, how well would you say you are prepared or can teach the performing arts? What would you need to do to either extend that, to improve that? How do you think, or what do you think about the use of dance in the curriculum? In this example, we've seen how dance is going to be used across the curriculum in terms of history and geography, and even the language arts. Have that at the back of your mind as we continue with the next part of our presentation this evening. Let us look at where we are at. I would like you to conduct a brief reflection by writing a couple of questions around what you have learned in terms of preparing you to teach life skills. in understanding the content of the curriculum, what it is you're going to teach, who are you going to teach, when are you going to teach, and how the creative arts, the physical education, personal and social well-being of the life skills curriculum is designed according to our curriculum and assessment package, our CAPS document, the curriculum that we use in the intermediate phase. We have attempted to get a glimpse of this through our discussion forum during our first assessment. That was what outcome 1 was all about. We also engaged in planning a range of learning and teaching activities that centered around the different study areas. And to that end, we explored lesson planning in our second module outcome. And right very recently, we've been looking at assessments, quite an in-depth look into planning assessments around the different study areas, very specifically for different grades, as was spelled out in the third assignment. So with regards to developing assessment and planning assessments with rubrics, mark schemes, marking memorandums, and so forth, we aimed to develop an idea and improve our knowledge around assessment for life skills. Tonight we're looking at contextualizing the visual arts and the performing arts as part of the creative arts study area in life skills and the role it plays in the intermediate phase. I want to highlight the word contextualize. It is within a context that the visual arts and performing arts is presented, is planned for, is taught. The creative arts comprises the performing arts and the visual arts. And all of this is spelled out in much detail in the CAPS document. But we're going to look at it holistically in terms of integrating performing arts and the visual arts around a context. Another word could be around a theme. In being able to manage the curriculum, in being able to teach the curriculum within the given time frames that the CAPS allots and allocates for the intermediate phase. The role the creative arts plays is not only within the life skills subject, but across the curriculum. And therefore, this module outcome looks at the creative arts through a context in terms of integration and the holistic approach of the performing arts and the visual arts. And to that end, we will be preparing to answer the last assignment. Assessment 4 is assignment 3, which is about contextualizing the visual arts and the performing arts as part of the creative arts, our module outcome 4. And in preparing us to do that and to meet this outcome, we have in front of us the following assignment topic. I'm going to go through this assignment in some detail, but to begin with, at the outset, I want to draw your attention to the change of the weighting for this assignment. This assignment is now out of 20%. It comprises 20% of the semester mark, your module mark. And I do have on the next slide, which I will come up with hereafter, the marking rubric that we're going to use that provides us the 20%. The module outcome under Funda shows this assignment out of 25. There has been a change. I would like to draw your attention to that change right up front. And let's look at the rubric and then we'll get back to the question in a moment. The assignment is due on the 23rd of October. So we have a few weeks ahead of us, a week and a bit. The assignment is weighted 20%, here again, not 25%. And the marking guide is in front of you, and it comprises the following criteria. The question asks for a range of activities to be planned. That's going to be 5%. The content that these activities are going to be based on, which comes from the CAPS curriculum, is 5%. The suitability of the activities in terms of the grade, the clarity of instructions that you would plan for in terms of the range of activities that's going to be included is 5%. And creativity, the creativity of the design as well as the range of activities will make up the last 5%, giving you 20 out of 20. And that in turn is a 20% weighting for the whole module. So I do urge you to study that and be guided by this in terms of how you're going to plan for answering this question. So what is the question? There are several components to this question. The first part of it is about compiling a range of learning activities. This is not a conclusive list. Some suggestions are provided, very hands-on, practical, fun activities that you can plan for in preparing learners to produce projects and designs and other activities around the task that you will plan for. So the first bullet covers a range of activities that you will plan for, which allows you to plan for learners' knowledge and skills. The second bullet has to do with what this assignment is around. The study area, the creative arts in life skills. And what exactly are we planning these range of learning activities around? There are two strategies for assessment among the list that's provided in the CAPS document for life skills. These two have been highlighted: project work and a design and make. You may choose to do both, or you may choose to do one of these activities, these assessment strategies or types of assessments around which the learning tasks and activities will be planned for the creative arts. So you may choose a range of activities for a project, or you may choose a range of activities for a design and make task for a grade of your choice. These activities must come or be based on a context from the visual art. So for this particular assignment, you will choose a visual art piece of your choice for a grade of your choice. So it could be a piece of art for a grade 4 child, or a grade 5 class, or grade 6 class. And around that piece of art, you will use that as a context for a project or a design and make activity that you will plan for. There needs to be at least 5 activities around that piece of art. And those 5 activities need to demonstrate what you would teach and what your pupils will need to learn for the 2 components that make up the creative arts, visual and performing arts. So the visual art piece becomes the context or the theme for a series of activities that you will plan for in teaching the creative arts. You may choose a grade 4 class or a grade 5 or a grade 6 to plan these activities around. Ensure that your activities are age appropriate, in other words, grade specific, and the creativity, the enjoyment needs to come through. Let them be interesting, they need to flow into each other, provide clear instructions for what the learners must do in order to produce that project or make something to show knowledge, to show skills in the creative arts. Over and above that plan, you're welcome to use your own format to present your assignment. You're welcome to use a text format in Word or a table format if you prefer to show your 5 activities or at least your 5 activities. You may include your resources, and certainly you need to reference where you get your ideas from in terms of your reference list. In addition to that, I would like you to write your assignment calls for a brief personal reflection of the role visual arts and performing arts play in the life skills curriculum. So as part of the creative arts study, what role do you think as a teacher in training does the visual arts and performing arts play? Please do not exceed more than a page of your personal reflection, perhaps 250 to 300 words the most. It's essential for you to consolidate what you have experienced through the 3 previous module outcomes in preparation for this reflection. Be authentic and be honest about what you feel and base it on your personal experience as well. What would you say are the advantages or the concerns that you may have around the teaching of the visual arts and performing arts? How valuable is it in the life of intermediate phase learners? So in concluding your last assignment, a brief reflection about a page long on your personal view of the role the visual arts and the performing arts play in the life of the intermediate phase learner. I do welcome you to send through any questions. You're welcome to phone me or to write to me if you have any further inquiries around this last assignment. And so in preparation, just to get you thinking, some ideas on how you can actually approach this, this task. Let's look at what the CAPS document has to say in preparing you for this assignment. I'm going to bring the CAPS document up. Just allow me to share that screen with you. Okay. There are several pages that I would like to just draw your attention to. Some of it is for you to read as a background in understanding where your assignment is located in preparation for you to teach the creative arts. And some of it has to do with ideas in terms of terms and the assessment. Okay, so on page 9, there is information that you can read up in terms of what is the creative arts, why do we have it, what is it made up of. Okay, and then further, the different tasks, the different steps in the performing arts, dance, music, drama, and thereafter some specific guidelines, and then some general information on the overall curriculum. Further down in the document are the time frames for the various sections of the creative arts, okay, and very specific resources that are needed in order to teach the creative arts and the performing arts. It starts up with the performing arts, and it's important for you to use these ideas in planning the range of activities that's going to inform the project that you're going to set for this task. Okay, and it continues. Some very interesting ideas provided, very specific in terms of improvisation, interpretation, performance, appreciation, various elements that are very specific to the 4 disciplines. And then I want to draw your attention further on into the curriculum, around page 55 onward in terms of assessments. And here again, very specific time frames and assessment requirements across the whole curriculum and for the creative arts. We're going to focus on 2 of these. The first one is project work, that this assignment is going to call you to plan for, and it will be necessary for you to read this section in terms of the requirements around projects, and then design and make very appropriate strategies for assessing the creative arts. You'll find that on page 52, 53, what designing and making involves in terms of using the creative processes and working towards an end product. So read through that, and that's going to give you knowledge and background towards your plan. The rest of the CAPS document is at your disposal, and you're most welcome to use any part of that. Do remember to reference in text if you do quote from the CAPS document. Some students have left out the referencing of the CAPS document in the bibliography. It is essential to reference the CAPS document. It is a source, it's a resource that we are accessing, and it needs to be referenced. I'd like to now go back to my PowerPoint and provide you with some ideas in preparing you for the classroom and for this assignment. Here again, a quick visual on how the life skills curriculum has been, how it is made up, how it comprises, and we are looking at the creative arts in particular for this module outcome. Okay, and let's look at the first activity. In preparing you to think around the requirements for this task, in front of you is some artwork done by some learners. They haven't just reached that point without a process. They have produced a product, a visual art product, and a project that has led them to that final outcome, to that final production. So in looking at that, certainly the teacher has prepared these learners to come up with the piece of art that they hold in their hands. As a teacher, what instructions could you think has been given to these learners? What questions, what activities have they engaged in to have led them to this point? If you were the teacher, what instructions or questions or activities could you give? or planned for your class in order for them to do a project on the visual arts? Contemplate that, think on it, because it's going to be very useful for you in terms of preparing for your assignment, as well as preparing for teachers for teaching the creative arts. What if this piece of art becomes the context in which you could actually integrate all 4 disciplines: dance, drama, music, and the visual arts? If this piece of art is the context for teaching creative art, how would you use this art, this piece of art, to plan and design learning experiences, a range of activities that could stem from this moment, from this product? So there's 2 parts to looking at this picture. The one part is what has led the learners to come up with this final piece of work. What questions could the teachers have provided, instructions, activities that they would have planned so that the learners could come up with this final piece? And thereafter, how can you make that a context for further integration with the other pieces of other disciplines within the creative arts? As a second extension to that activity, how could you use that experience of producing a visual art piece to plan a series of activities that could lead to a dramatic performance, either with music and dance or just drama? If you had to plan a project around the performing arts, what would you include as a series of activities? What lessons would you plan for in order to demonstrate your teaching of life skills in the creative arts study area, and to demonstrate what pupils will learn through this experience? What context would you use to coordinate an integrated approach to teaching the creative arts, especially since time is quite restricted in the curriculum? You basically have 2 hours a week for life skills, 1 hour of which is designated for the creative arts. How could learners come to this point? What would you plan for in order for them to learn the various skills that could reach to a point of performance? These are some of the thoughts that we will need to engage in as teachers of life skills and the creative arts. So there's just 2 activities for you to reflect on, for you to use, for you to plan around and to think around in terms of preparing a demonstration of your teaching and the learning. I have in front of, over the next few slides, some examples of ideas that you can watch at your leisure, and you can extend that into ideas for the visual arts that you can use within a project. I'm not going to show it to you now, but you're most welcome to access it on Funda and under your lessons. These links will be posted there. There's some art ideas for the visual art, some dance ideas, either standalone dance ideas, and certainly ideas for warming up, for developing ideas that come from children, and ideas that lead to a final performance that could be used in an integrated approach as well. And then some ideas on drama in schools, how drama can be used also through integration of the disciplines or as independent ideas for the dramatic arts. Very simple ideas to help teachers prepare students in terms of what can happen in a drama class. And then there's the whole music aspect of the creative arts. The curriculum does say that if there are any learners in the school who wishes to do any of these disciplines in a very serious manner in terms of learning an instrument or learning how to read and write music or dance, a very specific discipline type of learning, that it can be offered to them as an extramural. The life skills teacher is not expected to teach the 4 disciplines in such detail as a music specialist would or an art specialist would. And therefore the approach to the life skills creative arts is through improvisation, it's through experiential learning and through integration. And in conclusion, if you have any questions or comments with regards to this module and what you have experienced in terms of preparing you to teach life skills, they are most welcome to be posted on Funda or emailed to me, and certainly you're welcome to call me as well. It has been a most demanding subject that calls teachers to be experts in quite a vast array of disciplines, from personal development to social development, to physical development, to religious and spiritual development, and now through the creative arts. And I want to say to you, I wish you well. This is one of the most important subjects that any child could experience in preparing them for a holistic life ahead, and the balance that is required in one's life. And it's that fun part of the curriculum that the whole school requires, especially when there's school concerts and performances that learners are required to have at assemblies and other special functions at schools. So it's an area that is required for learners across the curriculum to be able to learn through the arts across the curriculum, makes the curriculum come alive for the teaching and learning of students and teachers. And with that, I want to end tonight's presentation by drawing your attention again to all the information that you can find on Funda, here at Cornerstone, through your resources and through the intermediate phase life skills. And with that, I want to end tonight by wishing you well. I just want to bring up our home screen again and wish you every success for the rest of the semester as it draws to a close within the next few weeks in preparing you to meet all your deadlines. I want to say God bless you, and what you put in is what you will get out. Hang in there. It's almost over. Keep going. All the best to you. A very good night.